So much, Astrida, for the brief introduction. I really appreciate. So let's dive in. So I'll be teaching you tonight on the foundation and journey of creativity. The foundation and journey of creativity. If you observe, it looks like I'm kind of nervous, like because I'm actually starting this like I was trying to fix up a lot of things for my back end. Actually, like this webinar was everything from the planning and everything. I had to single-handedly do that because of the short time. And right now, like I'm just trying to work on a lot of things at the same time. So it's looking like there was there are kind of shady things and all of that. But don't worry, tomorrow would be better definitely because this is the first day. So tonight I'll be speaking to you about the journey and foundation of creativity. The journey and foundation of creativity. I'll start by giving you my story. In 2018, or let me say in 2017, I was a 300 level student in the university here in Nigeria. And at that point, I was looking for, or like I was hungry to actually know what I was, to find out what I was good at. Like I knew a lot of creatives that were doing amazingly well in school, but I was not doing anything like not necessarily because I didn't have talent or I didn't have skills or I was not creative enough, but I could not actually place a particular skill that I would say I was good at that could actually bring me out. So I was confused. I was just hungry for knowledge. I was hungry to know myself. I was hungry to find out my purpose in life. I was hungry to find out what my vision, my purpose, my assignment, why really am I here? So probably this is your case. Probably you're asking yourself, you probably joined this webinar because you are confused, you don't know what to do, you don't know what the next step to take. Do not worry, just know that this particular session is going to cover for all of that. So while all of this was going on, I went on a deep search. I went on a deep search. I wanted to know exactly what I was good at. I wanted to find out, my purpose and all of that. And that was where the turning point started. I went on a deep search for like a week. I was praying, I was studying, I was reading, I was just open to find out a lot of things. So there and then I found out that I could actually write. Not because I was not writing before that time, but I had not really paid attention to my skill in writing. I didn't even know it was a skill because then I started with writing poetry, I was writing motivational quotes and all of that, and so many other things that I was writing. But I wasn't really paying attention to it. Like I was just doing it because it was something I enjoyed doing. And funnily enough, I was actually consistent in writing all of those things. So that was where discovered that I could actually write. So I discovered that creative art of writing. That was the first thing I discovered about myself. Then the next thing I discovered about myself was the fact that I could actually inspire people through counseling. Like sometimes people come to me with different challenges, and by the time I engage them in a conversation, I realize that by the end of that conversation, they already have answers to what they are worried about or what they are bothering about. So the first thing you need to note about the foundation of creativity is the fact that first, everybody is a creative. Everybody has a form of creativity in them. So there is nobody that is here with a form of the formality in being a creative. So everybody is creative. The only challenge that we have is the fact that some persons they are not able to place the exact form of creativity that they fit into. So beyond the normal things people tell you, oh, you are not here by mistake, you're here for a purpose. I know it could sound cliche, but really, um, that is just the reality about life. So there is something that you can do that another person cannot do. There is something I can do that you cannot do, and there is something you can do that I can never do. That is just how beautiful God created every one of us to be. So that is the form, that is the uniqueness and the specialty that every one of us have. Do you understand? So everybody is a creative, everybody has form of creativity in them. Do you understand? So that's the first thing you need to note. So after I discovered these few things that I could do, the next thing that I did was to build around those things. And how do you build around it? How did I build around it? Building around it, I had to like start learning from by observation, learning by reading, learning through various channels and activities, and trying to be in a community of people that would inspire and build me, that would also contribute to what I was actually going after. Because whether you like it or not, whatever thing you're doing now or you intend to do now, someone else is already doing it. The only difference between you and the person already doing it is the skillfulness in it. That means it is either you're skillful more than the person who is already doing it, or the person already doing it is more skillful than you are. And that's why you need to understand your uniqueness. Understanding your uniqueness, not necessarily um understand your uniqueness simply means you're learning, not necessarily copying, because there's a difference between learning and copying. So while other persons are doing things their own way, you both are in the same niches doing the same thing. But there's a special way you can do your own thing that the other person might not necessarily have paid attention to. So this is where you should put in your creative ability into being original with the form of creativity that you have. It's very important for you to note that. So I said the first thing I did was I discovered that I could write. I discovered that I could inspire people, counsel people on some delicate parts, or delicate areas of their life. And I from there I had to like start building around those things. And this was some of the things that helped me in my journey when I started as a creative. Okay. I will also appreciate if, while I'm teaching or while I'm speaking, you can drop in comments in the chat box so that I can know that you're following. So it doesn't look like I'm just talking to myself. And also, I realize that some persons are actually leaving. Please stay back. I promise you, this session will not be long at all, please. And also, those persons, I would ask that you actually share the link. You can reshare the link to your various groups and tell the other participants to join in, so it doesn't look like we are just few here. Meanwhile, there are lots of persons that would actually want to be part of this. Okay, so I've given you my own background story of how I started as a creative. Now, it is important for me to define what the foundation of creativity is, and how you can journey while being a creative, or how you can journey through creativity. What is foundation? Foundation is simply talking about the bedrock, the layer, the roots. And like the scripture says, it said, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So you need to understand that your foundation as a creative is very important. So you need to take time building your foundation, molding the foundation of your skillfulness, of your art in creativity. So you need to spend time building. The reason why a lot of people, you see them, they rise today and they fall tomorrow, is because their foundation is faulty. So you need to be able to take time to build. Taking time to build, I'm talking about knowing, first of all, defining what exactly you want to achieve with the creativity that you have, defining who you want to help with the ability that you have, with the skills that you have, with the talents that you have, defining how you want to reach these people that you want to help, by building visibility, by molding yourself, positioning yourself in a particular way whereby you can reach these people. I'm talking about how you what kind of ways, what are the various channels you want to reach these people? Do you want to reach them one on one? Do you want to reach them digitally or globally? You need to be able to, this is the point where you start paying attention to, because a lot of people, they are so carried away with, oh, I want to build, I want to establish a brand, even when they know that they have not built a solid foundation of what branding is. They don't even have a knowledge about branding. They don't understand what branding entails. They don't understand how brands are formed. They don't understand how they can communicate their brand value to people. So by the time you don't understand all these parts and you start building, your your brand becomes so extinct in within a short period. Why? Because you did not take time to build, you did not take time to understand what branding entails, you did not take time to define who and who you want to serve with your brand, or with the skills or with the talents that you have. So it is important for you to pay attention to all of these things. Okay, so I talked about foundation. Foundation simply means the grassroots, the bedrock, what you want to build your value system on, what you want to build your creativity on, what you want to build your brand on. That is what foundation simply means. And journey, on the other hand, is talking about the step-by-step process, because the truth is you cannot attain the you cannot get to the end of your creative arts or your creative ability, because every single day you begin to discover new things, better ways of doing things that you did the previous day. You begin to discover the new phase of your of the arts or the talents that you have. You begin to discover new ways to, communicating what you have to people. You begin to discover things. So that's why the journey of a creative is unending. The journey of a creative is unending. It continues. And while it continues, it is also important that you continue to build capacity, you continue to learn more, you are open to learning, you are open to relating with other people, you are open to adjusting into to a particular way that others do not have or are not exposed to. So all of these things would help you in your brand journey. It will help you when you eventually have a brand. It will help you when you eventually get the audience that you need for your brand. It will help you in in different ways. So this is the bedrock on which creativity is established. So as a creative, you need to first of all understand your foundation, build on your foundation. Building on your foundation simply means you're building capacity. And what does it mean to build capacity? Building capacity simply means you're studying, you're taking necessary lessons, you're learning, you're getting mentorship from other people, you're being coached by other persons that are in the same field, or like you are just around people that are inspiring you, people that are going to empower you mentally, not just physically or not just financially. Okay, so you need to be able to pay attention to the foundation or the grassroots of your creative ability. That way, it will help you by the time you start taking those deliberate steps and other steps in growing or building your brand. Please, if you are following, just drop a fire emoji in the comment section. Let me know that you are following, so it doesn't look like I am speaking too many words and I'm the only person here. Please let me see your comments so that I know you are following and it doesn't look like I'm just talking to myself. Please, I would appreciate, let me just see your comments so that I know you're following. Let me see your comments so I know you're following. Um, I'm not seeing any comments yet. Um, okay, I think I saw one from Astrida. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to give you, oh, thank you so much, Astrida. I can see that. Thank you so much. Does it look like it's only Astrida that is following? Astrida cannot be the only person following. Oh, I can see from Kevin Jerome, Kevin Brown. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so let's move forward. So how do you then build the foundation of your creative ability? First of all, you need to be able to define what creativity means to you. Creativity is simply the ability to bring to something to life. So your ability to bring something to life simply means you already have an idea, or you have an experience, or you have a knowledge that you want to bring to life. Okay, so it's also important for you to note that. So now if I'm saying you need to build the foundation of creativity, or you need to have a foundation as a creative, I'm simply telling you that you need to understand, you need to first of all define what you can do, define your creative ability. So the first question I want you to ask yourself now while you're listening is, what can I do with the skills that I have, or with the talents that I have? Write it down. I know you have a pen with you, just write it down. So ask yourself, what can I do? What is it that somebody can tap me now and tell me, um, I need this, and you can give the person a response immediately without thinking two times or without thinking twice? Can you do? But when I also say what can you do, I'm simply saying that you have a solution to a problem. Because if you cannot, what will make people place value on you is the fact that you have solutions to their problems. Let me give you an instance. If, for instance, I tell you now that, if, for instance, you know that if you come to me, I'm going to show you how to make money in 2 hours, and probably you've been broke for like a year, you would respect me. Why? Because you know that I have value. I can show you what to do to make money in 2 hours. I'm not saying that I can actually do that, because of course there's no legit business that does that, but I'm just trying to set an example. Do you understand? So people place value on you, on your own ability to help them solve problems. So you need to ask yourself first, what can I do? What am I good at? A lot of times we tend to pay more attention on our weaknesses, on the things that we cannot do, forgetting about the things that we can actually do. So while you are sitting there thinking, but why am I even here? I don't have any value. I don't think I have any value. I don't think anybody can respect me. I don't think anybody can, see me as a creative. You need to also understand the fact that there is something about you that you can do, or there's something that you can do that other persons cannot do. So you need to start from there. You need to start from the unknown to the, yeah, you need to start from the known to the unknown. So what you don't know, leave it. Start with what you know already. So what do you know? What can you do? What problems can you help people solve? What ways can you contribute, or can you give value to other people? This is what I'm talking about. So you need to be able to ask yourself first, what can I do? That's the first question you need to ask yourself in building your foundation. The next question you're supposed to ask yourself is, who am I supposed to help with what I have? If what you can do is to train people on, or to coach people on how to keep a healthy lifestyle, or all of those things, if that is what you can do, then you should be able to, if that's what you can do, then you can channel it to a particular aspect. Sorry, I've actually been notified, but don't worry, we're going to reconnect. So you can channel it to a particular aspect. So first of all, I said you can ask yourself, what can I do? Next thing is, who am I going to help with what I can do? Who am I going to help? Are they adults? Are they children? Are they the young? Are they the old? Who are the people who need what I have? Who are those persons that I can help with what I have? Who are those persons that need what I have? You need to ask yourself. Then the next question you need to ask yourself is, how do I reach these people that need what I have? How do I reach them? How do you connect with them? Because trust me, you can be the most talented person in the world, but if you don't have the platform where you can actually maximize the talents that you have, your talent is useless. That's just it. So if you don't go outside, if people cannot see that you can do something, nobody will come to you, because nobody is a magician to actually know that you can do something until they see you doing it. So you should be able to find a platform where you can be doing what you can do, that will attract people to you, and from there they can now come to you and tell you, okay, can you help me do this thing, and I'm going to pay you this. So you need to start from there. So the first question I said you should ask yourself is, what can I do? What problems can I help people solve? Next question is, who am I supposed to help? Who am I supposed to help in solving problems? And third question is, what platform can I use in, you know, bringing solutions to people's problems? So by the time you can answer these questions effectively, and by the time you can answer this question, it gives you a a gear to the next phase of your journey. Okay, so I've just discussed what the foundation of creativity entails. I would like to ask if you have any questions as regards everything that I've said right now, then we can continue tomorrow. I don't really want to take much of your time because it's pretty late. But if you have questions, please drop it in the comments, then I would wrap this session off. I'm also trying to beat my time limits based on the fact that I'm using Zoom. Tomorrow I'm going to try as much as I can to actually use YouTube. That's the platform we're supposed to be using, but I don't know what happened. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm waiting in the chat box. Who has questions? Nobody? Okay. In the absence of any question, um, I would I would end this session by saying that the foundation of creativity, or the foundation of being a creative, starts with you in finding out what your strengths and your weaknesses are. Your strength, I'm talking of your abilities. Pay more attention to your abilities than your weakness. Let what you can do be more than what you cannot do. So the first task I want to give you tonight is, after this session, take a pen, write out all the things that you can do. Everything that you know that you can do, not things that you have idea about, but you know that you can actually do these things. Write it out. Then you can now spell out those things that you cannot do in another page. Okay, so by tomorrow I'm going to use thank you so much, Samuel. I can see your feedback. So by tomorrow I'm going to pick out some of them and expand on it. Okay, so that will be your assignment. Tomorrow we will try and use YouTube by God's grace. Please, I'm sorry about the inconveniences that happened today and lots of things that went wrong, but I trust God that tomorrow will be better. And please, if you know any of your friends who are not here, try and inform them to be part of it. And yes, I'll join the curtain here, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you have questions, I'm still here for you to ask me before we call it a wrap. Any question? Let me give you guys a shout out to everyone who joined. I see Astrida, I see Kevin, I see Samuel. Thank you so much for joining. It's really a big deal for you to be here. Trust me. Thank you so much for joining, and I do not take it for granted. So, in the absence of any question, I would say good night. Thank you, Astrida. I see, I see your I see your message. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.